Aloy was born in 3021 and entrusted to Rost, who was a man that was cast out by the Nora tribe previous to her birth. 6 years later, while exploring on her own, she falls into a forbidden bunker that was created by ancient humans. While trying to escape from the destroyed facility, she discovers an augmented reality device known as a focus before being rescued by Rost. Despite his misgivings, Rost allows her to keep the focus, which she soon develops an affinity for. The next morning, while learning to hunt with Rost, she uses the focus to rescue Teb, an injured member of the Nora tribe who has recklessly fallen into the path of machines. Aloy expresses the desire to learn more of the identity of her mother, but Rost suggests training to compete in the Proving, a coming-of-age ritual that would not only allow her entry into the Nora, but give her the answers she seeks as a boon if she wins. The game skips forward 12 years to when she has become a skilled warrior and huntress due to her intensive training. She attends the Proving, winning the competition and being declared a Nora. Before she can ask about her parents, the tribe is attacked by a group of cultists led by the fanatical Helis, who seeks to kill Aloy. Most of her fellow warriors are murdered, but Helis hesitates when stabbing Aloy and is attacked by Rost, who then sacrifices himself to protect her from a blast. When she comes to inside Allmother Mountain, one of the tribe's elders explains that Aloy was actually found in front of another bunker inside the mountain, and their disagreement over whether she was a good or evil omen led to her exile. However, her focus reveals that Helis was given orders along with a picture of an older woman that looks just like her. Aloy is then declared a seeker and sets out to avenge the attack on the tribe. Eventually, she is contacted by a man named Silence who reveals that the older woman is Dr. Elizabeth Sobek. Her genetic profile allows her to access the headquarters of Pharaoh Automated Solutions, where she sees that Elizabeth Sobek was the skilled scientist who was called in to try to stop a rogue swarm of self-replicating robots that use biomass as fuel and ultimately consumed all life on Earth thanks to the company's CEO, Ted Pharaoh, refusing to allow any backdoor access into the machines. She then sets out to discover what Elizabeth had planned to do, what was referred to as Project Zero Dawn. Eventually, Aloy discovers that Zero Dawn was a terraforming system whose development involved deceiving the global human populace into sacrificing itself in a futile attempt to stop the swarm to provide time to complete it. The system was supposed to restore the human species and other life after shutting down the swarm. However, a mysterious signal attacked Zero Dawn's AI Gaia, forcing her to self-destruct and unshackling her component processes. With nothing to protect humanity from the rogue AI of Hades, initially created as an emergency reset switch for the planet, Gaia was forced to order Eleuthia, a sub-function tasked with maintaining the artificial wombs that were used to clone Sobek using DNA stored for the defunct Lightkeeper protocol, predicting that her genes would cause her to become the world's savior once again. As an infant, Aloy was brought outside the facility by a robot, leading the elders to believe she had mysteriously appeared there. Reaching the entrance of Gaia Prime, Aloy witnesses a series of significant damages caused by AI's self-destruction and is skeptical that Gaia could ever be repaired. While exploring the Zero Dawn facility, Aloy also learns that Dr. Sobek sacrificed herself to close a malfunctioning vent and save the project from the encroaching and all-consuming robots. Upon realizing this, Aloy sets out to find the master override that can shut down Hades. With the help of Silence, she obtains the override and confronts Hades, shutting it down just in the nick of time. In the ending scene of Zero Dawn, Aloy is seen finding the body of Dr. Sobek and getting closure in the search for her origins. In the DLC Frozen Wilds, Aloy is intrigued by rumors of a new wave of dangerous machines at the edge of the Banuk land, and takes a detour from her mission to explore the cut. After learning more about the spirit from Aurora, Aloy attempts to fulfill her request by saving the mysterious entity. Soon afterwards, she teams up with Aurora's brother Aratak. Subsequently, they head to an ancient ruin at Thunder's Drum, the Firebreak facility, to free the spirit. Later, Aloy discovers that Hephaestus, one of Gaia's sub-functions, took control of the facility from an unknown and remote location, enslaving the previous governing AI Cyan, who Aurora earlier deemed as the voice of the spirit. After Aloy, Aurora, and Aratak defeat the enemy, they head to the facility's core. Aurora sacrifices herself to finish the override, with Aloy later consoling Aratak for his loss. They quickly flee from the collapsing facility, leaving Aurora's body behind. After a successful escape, Aloy and Aratak meet again at Aurora's retreat to discuss matters with Cyan. Prior to finishing the last mission at the cut, Aloy attempts to converse with Aratak, who requests for her to help eliminate the remaining threats caused by Hephaestus. After finishing the mission, Aloy returns to Aurora's apprentice Naltuk, who thanks her for assisting the Banuk. He then bids her with a respectful farewell. Horizon Forbidden West continues the story of Aloy half a year after the events of Zero Dawn, a young huntress of the Nora tribe sent on a quest for the mysterious frontier, spanning Utah and to the Pacific coast to find the source of a mysterious plague that kills all it infects. On her journey across the uncharted lands of the Forbidden West, she encounters hostile regions filled with the natural threats and ravaged by massive storms, dangerous enemies, and deadly machines, both new and old. As Aloy attempts to explore the wider and deeper parts of the Forbidden West, she discovers a vast array of diverse environmental ecosystems, including lush valleys, dry deserts, snowy mountains, tropical beaches, and ruined cities, both above and below the water. Aloy and her friend Varl cross into the west to find the ruling Tenakth tribe amidst a civil war between Chief Hakaro and the rebel leader Regala. Aloy tracks down Silence to a facility where she finds Hades badly damaged and permanently deletes it. She then recovers a Gaia backup without its subsystems, but is interrupted by a group of futuristic humans. The group consisting of the leader Gerard Barry, his lieutenant Tilda Vandermeer, enforcer Eric Visser, and a clone of Sobek named Beta, that possess advanced technologies that render them invulnerable. They take a second Gaia backup while Aloy barely escapes and passes out when Varl manages to find her. Aloy awakens days later in the village of Plainsong, home to the Utaro tribe. Zoe, a member of the Utaro, guides Aloy to a control center where she rejoins Gaia with her subsystem Minerva. Gaia locates the other subsystems Aether, Demeter, and Poseidon and advises Aloy to retrieve them before attempting to capture the more advanced Hephaestus. Gaia reveals that the extinction signal that triggered Hades and mutated the subsystems originated from the Sirius system. Aloy suspects that the futuristic humans sent it. She then later tracks down Beta, who informs Aloy that the group is, in fact, Far Zenith, an organization of billionaire colonists who fled Earth during its global extinction, having managed to extend their natural lifespans. After their colony on Sirius collapsed, the Zeniths returned to Earth to use Gaia through Beta's genetic makeup for their own recolonization. They already acquired subsystems Eleuthia, Artemis, and Apollo, but Beta has stolen their Gaia backup. Aloy recovers Aether after helping Hakaro advance in the Civil War and retrieves Poseidon from the ruins of Las Vegas. She also recruits one of Hakaro's marshals, Katalo. Journeying to the San Francisco region, she encounters the Quen, a foreign tribe attempting to solve ecological crises in their homeland. Aloy helps tribe member Alva acquire data while recovering Demeter. After obtaining a high-level clearance from the private bunker of grotesquely mutated Ted Faro before it burned down, Aloy recruits Alva for her mission, then later devises a plan to help Gaia trap Hephaestus. Aloy travels with Varl and Beta to an inactive cauldron to carry out their plan, but they're attacked by the Zeniths. Eric kills Varl and recaptures Beta, while Gerard steals Gaia, but Tilda double-crosses them and helps Aloy escape. Tilda explains that she was romantically involved with Elizabeth Sobek and regretted leaving her. Having been inspired by Aloy, she wishes to stop Far Zenith. She further reveals that Silence has been supporting the Tenakth rebels to use them against the Far Zeniths. Aloy refuses to sacrifice the Tenakth and instead defeats Regala herself after thwarting the latter's final attack on Hakaro. She then convinces Tilda and Silence to reconvene in her base to formulate a plan. Aloy and her companions assault Far Zenith's base, while Beta releases Hephaestus into the Zenith's network, and it builds a near-endless amount of machines that tie down the Far Zenith's army of drones. Silence disables the Zenith's personal defenses, causing them to be killed by many of the rampaging machines. Aloy and Zoe confront Eric and kill him to avenge Varl, while Tilda kills Gerard. Aloy and Beta learn that the Far Zenith colony was destroyed by Nemesis, a failed mind uploading experiment they created. The Zeniths fled from Nemesis and hoped to steal Gaia to recolonize the planet. Nemesis also sent the extinction signal to Earth and is en route to destroy the planet. Tilda tries to force Aloy to abandon Earth with her, but Aloy refuses and is forced to kill Tilda. Silence reveals that Hades told him about Nemesis and also plans to escape, but has a change of heart and decides to aid Aloy against Nemesis. Aloy's companions then disperse to spread warning of Nemesis while Aloy and Beta reactivate Gaia. Sometime after the defeat of Far Zenith, Silence warns Aloy that one Zenith member, aerospace magnate Walter Landra, remains unaccounted for. The last known sighting of Landra places him at a location to the south called the Burning Shores, the former site of Los Angeles. Upon arriving in the Burning Shores, Aloy meets a soldier of the Quen tribe named Sekka. Sekka agrees to guide Aloy to Landra's hideout on Starlight Rise in return for helping her disable a Zenith defense tower. Sekka takes Aloy to her settlement, Fleet's End, explaining that her fleet was separated from the main Quen expedition heading to San Francisco, shipwrecked on the Burning Shores, and has been stranded since. It is revealed that Sekka stole a deceased diviner's focus and found a clue that some crew members who had gone missing were located at Starlight Rise. Admiral Garrett allows Aloy and Sekka to pursue this lead since one of the missing crew members is Sekka's sister, Kina, and the fleet's last remaining navigator. Working together, Aloy and Sekka destroy the tower and make their way to Starlight Rise. Upon reaching it, they discover that Landra has captured the missing Quinn crew and has been forcing them to excavate his old headquarters. They find evidence of him retrieving data on a project called MSP and follow his trail north to the wreckage of a Horus war machine resting near the Hollywood sign. They come across a Quinn camp and are dismayed to see that the missing Quinn crew has willingly joined Landra, worshipping him as a god who promises them ascension. They infiltrate Landra's ascension hall and discover that he's using the Horus to build a rocket to take him off the planet. However, in order to get the lift he needs, Landra salvages experimental nuclear booster engines from the Starlight Rise, but the use of them would eradicate the entire burning shore and its surrounding lands. After eliminating Landra's henchman Zeth, they learn he has taken a small number of his most loyal Quinn, including Kina, to a nearby abandoned amusement park in preparation for their journey. Aloy and Sekka infiltrate the park and make contact with Landra's personal AI, Nova. Nova explains that Landra intends to use his rocket to take himself, a select few Quinn, and a genetic library collected from his Quinn followers to found a new colony away from the threat of Nemesis. However, to ensure that his followers will not betray him, Landra reactivates his mutiny suppression protocol research, using it to brainwash the Quinn into being his loyal followers. Nova then deactivates Landra's security measures in return for Aloy deleting her so that she can finally be free from Landra's constant tweaking of her personality matrix. They enter Landra's inner sanctum and find him ready to seduce Kina. Sekka then intervenes, forcing Landra to flee back to his bunker underneath the Hollywood sign. Landra then activates Horus and uses it to attack Aloy and Sekka, who sabotage its cooling systems to weaken it and breach its hull, allowing Aloy to infiltrate Horus and kill Landra. In the aftermath, Aloy sends all of the data from Landra's focus to Silence and helps the Quinn and fleet's men make contact with Alva so they can coordinate on reuniting their fleets. Aloy also has the option of starting a romantic relationship with Sekka before temporarily parting ways. Upon returning to her base, Aloy meets Silence, who has managed to decrypt some of Landra's data, finding the list of the 21st century companies that were developing experimental weaponry that may be the key for defeating Nemesis. Will we be seeing another Horizon game in the near future? What do you think?